Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. Or today's second video, that gets us to the 30th of September. Day 10 is the final day of the month. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that through the first week of October with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles running to around a couple of weeks. We've just released JMA Friday. That's your month ahead to look at. That takes us into the middle of October. In fact, just beyond the middle of October. So it looks like we're going to be unsettled in the next week to 10 days or so. Possibly signs of high pressure coming back for early October, though. Have a look at JMA Friday, see what's going on there. So we're going to start off, though, by having a look at the tropical Atlantic. So this is the very latest in terms of tropical developments. So we've lost Humberto. Humberto went post-tropical overnight and has now disappeared off the map there, so that's just an area of low pressure now in the North Atlantic. We'll get the remains of Humberto in the early part of next week. Might give us a little bit of a soaking on Tuesday, but the storm itself is no more. We do have three areas of interest, though. We've got two yellow X's and a hurricane. So this is the yellow X that we have here in the Caribbean. So that is disturbance 2, and it's got a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours and a 10% chance in the next 5 days. With this one, we're saying a broad area of low pressure located over the central Caribbean Sea, just south of Hispaniola, is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms to the east and northeast of its center of circulation. The system is expected to move slowly west-northwestward, and significant development is unlikely due to strong upper level winds. Regardless of development, local heavy rainfall is possible over a portion of the Greater Antilles during the next few days. So it doesn't look like that's going to do anything in the immediate future. We also have another yellow X just here. So that's disturbance 1. Again, with 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, but a 30% chance, still quite low, in the next 5 days. With this one, we're saying a tropical wave located around about 700 miles east of Windward Islands is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The wave is expected to move quickly westward at around 20 miles per hour during the next few days, and some development is possible while it approaches and moves across the Windward Islands this weekend. Upper level winds appear less conducive for development once the wave moves into the eastern Caribbean Sea early next week. So possibly this will become a named storm as it moves over Windward Islands during the weekend, but then probably gets downgraded next week. And then we also have Hurricane Jerry just here. So that's the position of Hurricane Jerry right now. Jerry is giving maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. I think that takes it to category 2. It's got a central pressure of 981 millibars, and it's moving west-northwestwards at 16 miles per hour. If we click on that and then go to there, we can see that the current position of Hurricane Jerry is just here out in the sea. It's forecast to move in that direction and may move around or into the Bermuda area as a hurricane, category 1 hurricane by then, early next week. So remember, within this cone, there's quite a margin of error by the time you get through to the early and middle part of next week. There's a wide area where Jerry could be, but potentially Jerry might impact the islands of Bermuda through the early part of next week as a category forecast, be category 1 hurricane, because it could undergo more development. So other than that, there's not any other storms going on, but of course we're in the peak of season now, and I suspect we will see more developments in the days ahead, and we will be keeping you posted. Right, so these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Looking at London today. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. And we're starting off warm right now. We're going to go even warmer in the next day or so. Then the temperature drops in the second half of the weekend through to early next week. Then after that, just very close to average, with the temperatures going right way through to month's end and into the early part of October. More dramatic, though, is the precipitation spike. So for the next couple of days, a lot of dry weather, but from the second half of the weekend and through next week, a lot of rainfall spikes. This is it's the reason I chose London for the ensemble for today, because it is the most dramatically wet ensemble that I've seen for London for a very, very, very long time. So probably months ago that we had an ensemble as wet as this for London. It does look as though there could be significant amounts of rain through the course of next week. And this last week of September is seemingly shaping up to be really quite wet. Possibly a bit of a drying trend through the first week of October, but even then, there are some precipitation spikes to be seen. Temperature anomalies from the 20th to 28th of September are warmer than average for the UK and Ireland and for most parts of Europe as well. Precipitation anomalies day by day, these are gradually getting wetter. So from the 20th to 28th of September, it's still dry on average for Scotland, North East England, Northern Ireland, England and Wales, or the rest of England and Wales, going to average or slightly above average rainfall. Again, I suspect these will be trending wetter in the days ahead, and they should start to trend a little bit cooler as well, I would have thought, once we've got this weekend out of the way. So this is how the GFS is looking for Monday, and low pressure is sitting to the west of Ireland on Monday. There'll be a weather front that's moving in off the Atlantic on Monday. Main area of low pressure is just there, of course, with another weather front around here. That first front that moves in on Monday won't be too wet with that, but as we get through to Tuesday, we bring another system in from the southwest, another weather front in from the southwest. It's the same area of low pressure that's driving these fronts in, and that one could be more active. That could give a bit of a washout to some of us on Tuesday. Remember, this low pressure does contain the remains of what was Hurricane Humberto as well, so Humberto could give us a bit of a soaking on Tuesday. Into Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, low pressure just keeps driving in from off the Atlantic, sitting to the northwest of Scotland. So you can see quite tightly packed ice bars are going to be pretty windy. We'll be bringing bouts of rain in from off the Atlantic, showers no doubt in between. Moving up towards day 10, we're still looking quite unsettled. Low pressure moves over towards Scandinavia then. Winds turn into the north. We talked about this in the video yesterday. Signs of heights rising up towards Greenland as well, so becoming increasingly cool through next week, staying pretty unsettled. That's how we look at day 10. So it's time to drag up some warmer air on the last day of the month from the far southwest. We're bringing up these southwesterly winds. High pressure sitting over France, low pressure is out to the north and west, and we've got those southwesterly winds dragging up somewhat warmer air from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. In the more extended range, and this was showing up on Jam Friday, taking us through the first days of October, this particular GFS run does start to build up some high pressure to the south, so it becomes mainly dry and warm for a little while anyway through the opening days of October. But then it's not long before low pressure is driving back in from the Atlantic again, and that looks like a major area of low pressure down there. That's the remains of some sort of tropical storm or hurricane type feature. We've got low pressure up towards Iceland driving in the weather from the Atlantic, so any build of high pressure in the opening days of October very quickly blown away by low pressure in the Atlantic. That's how we finish up with this GFS run. It's Sunday the 6th of October, and it looks quite unsettled. Low pressure will be heading in from the Atlantic there, and again this major area of low pressure down towards the Azores, got to watch out where that's going of course as we go beyond the GFS time frame. Does look as though the Atlantic is going into a more active and buoyant phase over the next week or two, I have to say. Excuse me, this is the total 5-day accumulated precipitation from the weather outlook from this particular GFS run. So you'll see that for northern and eastern and northeast parts of the country, still relatively dry actually. Central northern parts of Scotland, barely any measurable rainfall there, very little across northeast England. Otherwise, rainfall totals are creeping up. So for much of England and Wales, we kind of like between 20 and 30 millimetres in the next 5 days. And over across western Wales and northwest England, some places going up to 50 50 millimetres, but the 10 days actually look more dramatic. So this is precipitation totals for the next 10 days. Even across northeast parts of Scotland, we have some rain down to northeastern England. Most places are kind of like between 30 and 50 millimetres, but out in the west it looks very wet indeed. Wales in the next 10 days forecast to have over 100 millimetres of rain. Southwest Scotland, northwest England also looking quite wet too. Obviously this is a really big change on anything that we've seen over the past few weeks. So much wetter conditions, driest in the east and wettest in the west, but all of us should get some rain in the days ahead. This is how the GEM is looking. So again, low pressure is heading in off the Atlantic as we go to the early part of next week, forcing the high pressure away to the east. It gave us all of the dry and warm weather over the past few days. That's Wednesday, so we've got low pressure all over the place. We've got an area of low pressure just there. We've got another little low over Ireland, and the main low is out in the Atlantic. So plenty of rain, showers, longer spells of rain to come for GEM through the early part of next week. This low pressure gets ever closer to us through the second half of next week, bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain. Notice heights are rising up towards Greenland as well. We've got high pressure building up as northern blocking over Greenland too. And as we move up towards day 10, this low pressure gets pushed down to the south and the east by this major blocking area of high pressure over Greenland. So that's how we finish up with the GEM. A big blocking area of high pressure over Greenland. Low pressure is being pushed away to the east and the winds are going into the north or the northeast. That looks very cool. Indeed, by the time we get through to day 10, let's have a look at the upper air temperatures with that. It's probably an outlier in terms of the extent of the northern blocking, but you'll see the 0 degree isotherm is pushing southeastwards into northern parts of the country anyway. Behind that, this time of year, early October, you'll generally be able to generate night frost when you have that 0 Celsius isotherm pushing in. So definitely finishing up on quite a cool, even fairly cold note, you would say, with the GEM. And the ECM looking like this, so low pressure again is moving in from off the Atlantic in the early part of next week, looking increasingly unsettled. Low pressure becoming a major player for the course of next week, bringing showers, longer spells of rain. That, I think, is the remains of Hurricane Jerry, moving on to the far left of screen as you are looking at it. And as we move into extended range with the ECM heading up towards day 10, it stays unsettled. Low pressure is going nowhere fast. Quite high heights over Greenland as well, so a bit of northern blocking up there. We've got low pressure out to our west. There's the remains of Jerry just there, and it looks like down here there's probably some other feature that's beginning to move onto the far left of screen as you're looking at as well. That could well be another tropical feature. So it looks like we're going to see more activity in the tropical Atlantic too over the days ahead. We shall see. This is how precipitation is forecast based on that ECM run from tameteo.com. So starting off, lots of dry weather today. As we run through this, you'll see that gradually rainfall increases. The first showers sort of breaking out in the west and the southwest tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, and then into Sunday getting more widespread, a band of rain then moving north. So I think that'll be quite showery in nature, but there could be some heavy bursts mixed in, as you see by those darker colours there. So some quite heavy showers possible on Sunday. That clears away to the northeast, and in comes the next area of rain as we get through into Monday. That one turns rather showery as it pushes northwards and eastwards across the country, but again, probably brings some wet weather on Monday. And then a deluge potentially for Tuesday. So we've got these deep purple colours here, particularly focusing on England and Wales. Could be a very wet day and really quite cool as well on Tuesday. This heavy rain pushing northwards and eastwards across the country, being followed by more showery conditions as we go through into Wednesday. So Wednesday is a case of showers or longer spells of rain. And then in comes the next weather system as we go through Thursday and into Friday, wetter, windy with that. And as we head up towards the end of the month, we find further showers, particularly so in the north and in the west too. And as we get to day 10, the next batch of wet weather is coming in from off the Atlantic. That's on the final day of September. So obviously a much, much more unsettled flavour to the weather next week and heading up towards the end of the month compared to anything that we've had during September so far. These are the options are on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. This is getting us to the 30th of September. We have 19 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control and the operational run. And the operational run is the run we're just looking at in terms of the generic charts and also that rainfall forecast from Meteo. So northern blocking, high pressure over Greenland and low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic, deep areas of low pressure heading in from the Atlantic, jet streams coming through like that as well. Looks very unsettled with those 19 day 10. We've got 17 just here but are even stronger with the blocking over Green, so they're going sort of direction that the GM is going into, so big area of blocking high pressure over Greenland. Very unsettled as well across the north and west of Europe and out into the Atlantic. Low pressure is generally in control. And then the 15 that we have just here, they are more anticyclonic, so they still have a blocking signal towards Green, but they're also raising heights to the southwest with the low pressure sort of in the middle of the Atlantic. So they're our driest option. Would be completely dry even with those, probably quite showery, but they're the driest option, those 15 just there. It looks like generally the ECM ensembles are very unsettled at day 10. And in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. So it's getting us to the 5th of October. 16 members of the ECM ensemble still with low pressure over to the east of the country, includes the ECM control run. 14 are building up high pressure from the southwest. They're turning drier, probably quite cool. Winds in from the northwest, but they are a drier option. 12 with a mid-Atlantic ridge and low pressure to our east. They'll be bringing in wind from more of a northerly direction. And then 9 with a large area of high pressure centred right over top of the country, and the jet stream being pushed northwards. So they're the driest, warmest option for the early part of October. Those 9 just there. The trend looks like it's towards higher pressure in early October, but how long that lasts, where any high pressure sits, and I say how long it lasts, I think there's quite a bit of uncertainty about that at the moment. Finally, talking of October, this is the CFS-V2 700 millibar height anomaly for October. So it's placing an area of below average heights, low pressure out to our west, some above average heights down towards the Azores, and a big ridge across northern and central and eastern parts of Europe, if you can just change the colour. So you have this big ridge here over Scandinavia and going down into central east parts of Europe. So quite messy, a little bit unsettled, but probably bringing up fairly warm winds from a southerly direction. With that, it's going for a significantly warmer than average October, way above average with the temperature anomaly on the scale. That's somewhere between 1, 2, possibly up to 3 degrees above average there. We have those dark red colours. So a very warm October being forecast. Precipitation is weak, as it always is with CFS monthlies, but overall I would suspect a little bit on the wetter side actually, so warm and wet October from the CFS today. So that's it. It looks like we are going to be significantly more unsettled next week. Low pressure is back in business after being off the scene for quite a long time. So it'll be a case of showers all along the spells of rain next week. Temperatures will take a tumble as well with all of this overcast, damp weather. We'll be feeling quite autumnal. As head up towards the beginning of October, possibly starting to build up some higher pressure. A little bit of doubt about that, but I think the trend is still there more or less to start turning things more anticyclonic through early October. But how long that lasts, I think there's quite a bit of uncertainty about that. Right, so coming up over the weekend, that's your video today. Coming up over the weekend, we've got the weekend forecast tomorrow, and I'll have a week 10-day video update again. We'll have regular features, CFS 6 look ahead as well tomorrow, and then on Sunday we'll have the 4th winter 2019-2020 update. That's going to be a bit of an epic, so that'll be with you on Sunday, and also there'll be a live stream, of course, talking about that winter update on the YouTube channel between 5 and 6 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.